Ah, yes, that beautiful sound. Thank you everyone for joining us today, taking time out of your day actually to come and watch this webinar with us as I go through the app as well as other functions that you all need to be familiar with as conference is coming up in a couple of days. So jumping straight into it, today we're going to cover the app as well as the demo, troubleshooting tips for you all. And then we're also going to cover the web version of the app, which is essentially the desktop version, and other ways to access the schedule as well. So I'm going to pause sharing this screen for a second, and then I am going to jump into my phone. Give me 1 second. Uh-oh, let me grant this person hosting ability. Um, Can I make it compost? Sorry, folks, give me 1 second. So I need to write permissions. Okay, now I should be able to share my screen. Perfect. Let's see. Are you all able to see my screen? Looks like it. Perfect. Okay, so jumping right into things, just gonna put that on the side. This right here is the MML app. It would have our logo. For those that have an Apple phone, you're gonna go into your app store to download it. For those that have an Android, you're gonna go into your Google Play, but you'll search up Maryland Municipal League, and this logo should pop up. Then you're going to click that app, and it should take you to the screen. There's gonna be a couple of things are going to pop up. There we go. So now that we're in, as you can see at the very top, I'm not signed in. So without me being signed in, this is what I'll see on my screen. For the resources about, we do have, wait, can everyone hear me? Just to make sure you can hear. I'm gonna take that as a yes. So yep, back into it for our about page. This is just about what MML is, as well as the what the app is also about as well. Um, and then for the contact us page, we have information about where MMO is located, as well as any contact information and our social media handles. Going back, now we have the actual summer conference page itself. You click into that, and then now you will see what your screen would look like if you were not logged in. So before I jump into it, I do want to emphasize that the app is based off of sorry, wait, let me make um sorry about that. So I just want to emphasize that the email addresses that you all put in is the unique identifier for the app, meaning that you cannot sign in if email address is being used for multiple attendees. So for example, if I'm the key contact of Happy Town and I registered 4 attendees using my email address, is now going to conflict with people trying to register to get or log into the app. You may have a message pop up that says this email address is being used by multiple users. And it can affect people being able to access the app. My best suggestion would be to click forget password, and then hopefully a password reset link is sent to that email address to reset the password. If you're still experiencing issues, please reach out to us and we'll escalate that issue to the mobile app vendor to see if they can get it sorted out. We ask for patience as we're trying to figure it out. Conference is in a couple of days. We're still trying to get things together for you all. So it may take a little second for some issues to be addressed, but just know that we're trying our best with it. So again, going through the app, what you would see if you're not signed in, you'll see the speakers. You click on that. You will not be able to queue up any speakers because you are not signed in. If you go back, you can now see the sponsors and the sponsor logo. And on the sponsor logo, you can see, or the sponsor page, you see their logos. If you click on the specific sponsor, you can see their contact information, such as their social media posts or social media accounts, their web pages, as well as a little blurb about who they are. And you can also have contact specifically to that sponsor if you'd like to reach out to them. Going back, you can see the venues. These are venues that are attached to the conference specifically. Some of this may be associated with a chapter meeting or a tour site that you have to go. You have to meet at specifically in order to access or be able to participate in that tour, as well as the convention center itself, which will all be together in next couple of days. So now we're going to go to the schedule, and the schedule essentially looks the same as it would the schedule essentially look the same as it would if you were signed in. However, the customization tab is kind of what separates signed in folks versus people that are not signed in. So now let me go in to sign into the app. Again, it's going to ask you for your email address. Whoops. Uh, .org. You're going to click the I accept terms and conditions. You're going to click next. And now you do have the option to, there you go, forget your password. Or for those that are not using duplicate email addresses, you can also sign in using a verification code. It's going to send the code to your email address. You can copy and paste it and insert it in. But for this purpose, I'm going to put in my password. I know y'all caught a peek at my password. I'm going to change it so y'all can't get in my stuff. But but this is what it would look like if you were actually fully signed in. Now you can see that you actually have full access to the app, whereas when you were before, you were not able to access. You only see, I think it was sponsors, venues, and speakers. But now as the attendee, or now that you're signed in, you have full access to the app to be able to experience it. So first tab is attendees. This is essentially everyone who has attended the conference so far, including uh exhibitor, sorry. And you could go through, you can click their information, see who will be coming. You may see edit profile at the very top. I believe that function is only limited to me as a admin user. So if you are looking and you're like, hey, why can't I edit someone else's profile? Probably because you're not an admin, which is probably good for us. But going back out, we also have the search function. So if you wanted to, you can look up someone. Let's see. We have a test profile in here named Beyonce Knows. I wish Beyonce was coming to our conference, but unfortunately she was a little busy, so she can't. But that is how you can use the search function if you like. If you want to just cancel out of that, press cancel, and it'll take you back to the. Actually, you should probably clear out your search, and then it'll take you back to the full attendee list at a glance. Then you could go back, click our speakers, and now our speakers are accessible because now you're logged into the app. So you could go in and you'll see that some of the speakers may have our some profile pictures or a bio and also contact information, as well as the sessions that they'll be speaking at, the locations, also the time that is at as well. Mark, I'll get to your question at the very end. Give me 1 second. But I do want to say that for some of these speakers, they may miss some headshots or like speaker bios and stuff like that. Please be patient with us. We're basically trying to insert information as we're given and we're importing it to app as we receive them. So some people may just not be comfortable sharing some information with us. Some people may have missed that deadline to get it to us. Completely okay, respectful, just as long as we know who is speaking at the session and when they're speaking. So going back, we have our sponsor tab again. Same thing as before. You could click on a specific sponsor. Some of them may have information, some of them may not. And again, you could reach out to them specifically if you'd like to have any questions for them. Going back, now we have our exhibitors. Once it loads, it'll take a second because we have a lot of information here. And this is where you can see the companies that will be exhibiting at our expo. You click on one and it'll have their booth location or the booth number. Again, contact information, a blurb about who they are, and ways you could contact them. Again, I have that edit exhibitor. I don't think that is viewable for you all because I am an admin. Gonna go back. Same thing with venues, same thing as before. It will just have the locations of where some of these offsite things may be, or also where the convention center is specifically if you don't know the address of it. Going back now to the FAQ. This is where you can find hopefully some resources to ask some questions that may not be covered in anything that we're talking about. So if you have questions about the Academy for Excellence in Local Government, all the information needed right there is for you. If you scroll at the very bottom, for those that are familiar, Elizabeth Henson, she does have a booth at the conference, which is easily accessible. But in the event that you want to reach out to her specifically, Her contact information is at the bottom, so that would be a good place to search for if you're trying to get in contact with Elizabeth. Going back, we do also have our Expo floor plan. Good thing about this, it may look small, but you can zoom up on your phone screen by, using your fingers and with like widening the screen. And it is quite clear. Um, it doesn't quite present that way now that I'm looking at it, but on my end, on your personal phone, it would. I think it just messes the pixelate. It's a little pixelated now because I'm sharing my screen, but on your actual phone screens, it will look different. But you can enlarge it if you want, because clearly that is pretty tiny. So let's go back. And then now we have a FAQ. So if you have any questions about, I misplaced my badge, what should I do? Or wanting to know about your attendee type. So I'm a specific type of attendee. What do I have access to the app? Not to the app, to the conference. What can I do? What do I have access to? This is how you can be able to identify those things. And finally, how do I view the conference schedule? A little redundant because you're currently in the app, but let's say you don't really know where to go and you want to have other places to look for outside of the app, which I'll show you more in this webinar as well. So let's go back one more time. All right, now at the very bottom, you'll see three icons: home, feed, schedule. Oh, technically four, then more. Um, Focusing on the feed right now, this is where you can connect and talk to other conference attendees. You can put in a little blurb, say, hey, so excited to see you all on Sunday. Go MML, hashtag MMLCon26. Something cute, something nice. You can hit submit at the bottom right, and then you also upload any photos that you'd like. To provide an example of what that would look like, this is some of the things that people have posted last conference and the conference prior to. Definitely a good time. It's definitely one of our most popular features. You can also comment, as you can see, on some of the posts that people send out. It's definitely fun and it's also a great way to connect with other people. So definitely don't be shy, connect with other people there, and have a good time with it. Now we're going to go to the schedule, which you all probably are genuinely here for. So you'll see two things at the very top: full schedule and my schedule. Full schedule is exactly that. Sunday through Wednesday, showing you everything time by time, where things are located, and also who will be speaking there. So, for example, let's say we want to see the Ethics Academy Corps. You have a blurb of who will be of the actual session description and who will be speaking there, as well as where that speaker is from and things of that sort. And also, you can see at the very top it says Academy Core. If you go out, it's also designated as an Academy Core. If you want to filter out your full schedules by, let's say, Academy Core, at the very right hand top of your the right hand side of your screen, you'll see an upside down pyramid. You're going to click that, and that's where you'll see your filter. So let's say I only want to see the Academy Cores and elected for Sunday. I'm going to click apply, and it'll only show me those. Same thing for Monday, if there are any, and Tuesday as well. Going back to Sunday, let's say actually I want to see everything. I don't want to see the Academy Cores and electives. You're going to click that pyramid button again, and you're going to clear out your search or your filters and click apply again, and they'll show up for your they'll show the full schedule at a glance. Now, my schedule is more of like the customization part of the app. So let's say on Sunday, I actually just want to know, or I just want to see on my schedule the Wonderways bus tour, um, the Clerk or the Lewis and Clark performance, and the welcome break. On the right side of the session, you'll see like a plus mark. You're going to click that and it's going to turn into a check. So again, let me go through the Clark performance as well as the welcome break. Now, when I slide over to my schedule, it will only show me those selected sessions for that day. And you have to do that day by day. So for Monday, no sessions are going to appear because I didn't select or customize my schedule to select that. So going back to the full schedule, let's say on Monday, I actually want to see the Ballet Theater of Maryland perform as well as the Blake Haley performance. Going back to my schedule, now I only see those sessions for that day specifically. Let's say actually I don't want to see any of that for Monday. Just click the check mark and it will take that out of your day. Go back and now you'll see that there's no sessions displayed for that day. And that applies Sunday through Wednesdays, not just specifically any day. I believe that basically covers that part. Now let me go into the more section. So for some people, when you log in, it may default you to the summer conference page, or it will default you to the membership page I just showed you. You can click change events, but you won't be able to access any past events. But I implore you all to just poke around the app and see what you can find. It's definitely user friendly in that aspect. But let's say you want to go back to the member page we saw at the very beginning. You're going to click go to membership, and then it's going to take you to the membership page. And that is now you see it's another tab that we can access called MD Community. And that's kind of like our like social media platform for you all. And the login credentials will be that of your MC Pro database credentials, which is your first name and last name, which is your username, and then your default MML password if you haven't changed it already. I know that the system did update their requirements for the default password. So if you're having issues logging in, please let Sharon and I know, and we can definitely get that sorted out for you all. I believe, oh, then we have a general feed again. Pretty much everyone's having such a great time. I'm excited to see what everyone posts this time around, and the membership as well. I'm not going to click on the specific profile for this one just because this is recorded and some people have their contact information here. Not to say that that isn't sensitive because this is a public app, but just because we're recording, I don't want to share people's email addresses if they're not comfortable. So I'm going to go back to the home page and I'm stopped sharing my screen on my phone so I can flip over to the web version.
Dee, while you switch over to the web version, I want to clarify a few things. I'm unable to get the chat going. Normally, there's an opportunity to say, let everyone do it. It's not doing it. The technology is technology-ing hard. So, I want to address, there were a couple of things in the Q&A. And before you get to the web version, I do feel like a lot of times the concern is that you can't get into the app. So we already have a question where it says that they get the message, we cannot verify this email address because it is associated with more than one user. Please contact your system administrator. What should someone do in that instance?
Um, Honestly, just reach out to me and I'll just have to escalate that specifically to the app vendor. 9 times out of 10, just for context, the app attendees is based off the registration list. It's a direct sync. So when you're registering, you have to make sure that you're using unique email addresses because if not, the system is just going to keep repopulating itself with the old email address that you have registered with. So by the time it reaches to the app, it's constant influx of trying to update itself. So that's why it's imperative that you all use a unique email address. If you keep receiving that message even after the reset password, then um, you can reach out to us staff, Steve, Tom, me as well. We'll be able to escalate that specifically to our mobile app vendors. But by the time it gets to us through registration, it kind of is already in process. Um, Steve did say also as well, try deleting and reloading the app or deleting the app and then reinstalling it. That may help. That is my best advice. But again, most of this at the end of the day, gonna keep reiterating to you all from the event refresher all the way through the app. Your email addresses are very important. That is the one thing that ties all this together. And if it is not unique, it could kind of start the wires start to get tangled up and it's difficult to unravel those. So for sure, make sure that your email address is unique to you. But in order to troubleshoot that, yes, we're gonna have to escalate that to the actual mobile vendor so they can help assist us in unraveling that.
And let me emphasize her emphasis because I don't think that people understand that for the app at least, it is not like it's not necessarily connected to our registration system, right? Like it recognizes you as an attendee, but it's not recognizing your profile versus perhaps the profile of a council member. So if you are a staff person and you registered 5 people and you used your email for all 5 people, that in and of itself is going to become problematic for now everybody moving forward to access the app. Also, there all those people are not going to get emails from us updating. So that's why we encourage you to use the unique email. And then emphasis again on what Steve said. A lot of times, if you delete the app completely and reload it, it can help. If those things don't help, then D will escalate it to our mobile app vendor. But we would really, honestly, that normally works. It's tough because we're ready to get on the road. So we're not going to be able to assist very much over the next 24 hours. And kind of once we are at conference, we're hitting the ground running. So please try those tips and tricks first to see if they work. And hold on, D, I wanted to make sure. Um, the other question since we're here. Okay, I have a question about registration. We'll answer that after because I want to keep you focused.
Okay. But yes, as Paula said, these are some of the key takeaways. Again, you must be logged in to view all of the event information. If not, I demonstrated what that would look like if you were not signed in correctly. And again, we've re-emphasized this so much, but to re-emphasize the re-emphasis, definitely email addresses are the unique identifier. So for this conference, it may be a little bit mixed up for definitely for future references and future registrations. Definitely make sure that you are putting in the attendee's email address and not your email address. For those that are key contacts, for those that even if you are a guest, registering a guest, make sure you create a dupe or some type of like free email address just for the guests. They won't receive any MML information. If not, we'll remove them. But definitely make sure that every email address is unique and there's no duplicates. Oh, can't go to takeaways first before I show you all what it looks like. So now I'm going to share my screen of the mobile version of the app. Um, I believe here, let me go back to here. And now we're gonna go here. Can you also see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So in order to access the mobile version of the app, in order to access the desk version of the app, you're going to go to our homepage, which is www.mdmunicipal.org, and you should see all this beautiful skyline of the Annapolis area. We are the voice of Maryland and all that good jazz. So go back at the very top is where you'll actually focus on. You'll see tabs such as home, about, members, advocacy, and events. For now, we're going to focus on events specifically. When you hover over this tab, you will see flyouts that pop up, and Summer Conference being the first one. You're going to hover over that, and then you'll see an additional flyout screen, which is followed by the first one, scheduled by day, and then prelim schedule. For this, what we're going to focus on is schedule by day, because that is the mobile or the web version of the app. So we're going to click that, and it's going to take you to the schedule. It's going to take a little second to load in just because we have a lot of information for you all. It's the 90th. We're planning something great for you all. So it's a lot of information to load in at once. So it looks a little different on the mobile version, I think, than it did previously last year, but it's essentially the same thing as it would be on the app. So you're going to go through, it's going to show you at a glance Sunday, Monday, or Sunday through Wednesday. And you also have the option to view all days at once. Um, if you would like to do that, you can to each their own. I think it's a little confusing and a bit much to see all of that at once. I would rather much prefer to just see it day by day. Same thing as before, you can actually click on the session, and you are able to see the location, the speakers, the session description, as well as any of the tracks, such as the legislative track, academy core, academy elective, things like that. If you want to exit out of this and go back to the original schedule, just click on the tab again, and it'll take you back to where you first started. Again, if for the customization of the My Schedule, you'll just click, oh, look, it saved over from my app specifically. That's kind of cool. But again, that's why email addresses are very unique because it speaks from the web version to the app. So everything is very much interconnected. But again, if you want to add it to your schedule for that day, you'll see it pop up on the little corner with this little calendar, has a little check mark. That means it has successfully added to your schedule. Now, you see how my schedule is kind of highlighted in like a really light gray? That means I'm currently still selected in my schedule. To exit out of that view, you're going to click my schedule again and it'll be grayed out. Now you see just the Sunday's events rather than your customized schedule of Sunday's events. Speaker tab, similar to the app, has the profiles of the speakers as well as contact information. Let's click on Chief Bighorns, for example. We have the sessions he'll be speaking at, or speaking in, the location, start times, all that good jazz. Again, if you want to get out of the speaker tab, just click on the tab again, and it'll take you back to the all at speakers at a glance. Exhibitors, same thing as before. You click on the company name and it will take you to the where the booth is located. and the contact information. But the only difference is that the contacts is on the separate tab. So you're going to click exhibitor contacts and it'll take you to that contact specifically. But again, kind of similar to the app, slightly different, but same just overall. Again, if you want to exit out of it, make sure you click the tab in order to go back to the screen that you're reviewing previously. Sponsors, same spiel. We're gonna click on, let's say Hawkins specifically, and they have their contact information on their landing page, but you also have specific sponsor contacts. Oh, well, this one doesn't have one, but typically that you can click on the sponsor contact and it'll take you to those that you could contact those people specifically. Again, click on the tab if you want to go back to an overview. Um, and venues are the same thing as before. It has you could click on it just to see where you'd like to go. And the only difference is that now you see venues, rooms, and maps. So you can see rooms at a glance that's all within the convention center. Um, and you can also see which floor they're located on as well. And let's say you want to view the map. This map is kind of more of like a global view of where the convention center is, rather than kind of like seeing where the building specifically. But again, if you want to get out of this to go view all the venues at once, click on the tab and it'll take you right there. Resources, same spiel. You can click on the FAQ and it's going to take you to the questions about that. I will say that for the Explo floor plan, you aren't able to enlarge it all the way. But a helpful trick is that if you click Control and plus and keep tapping it, you can zoom in that way through your laptop. It is a little bit overwhelming, so I'm gonna go back to my default setting. But that is the way that you can enlarge that image through your laptop. So going back to the resources tab, just to see it all at a glance, general is essentially just general information about the summer conference, a little blurb about what things you may be able to experience at the conference, as well as the date and location. And let's say we're going back to the homepage, again, same spiel, and then get the app. It should well, there should also be an Apple Store version of this as well. But you click that and it'll take you to a page where you have instructions on how to download the app. Since this is the web version, I also want to say I am logged in because I'm logged in through my phone, but you don't have to be logged in to the web version in order to access the entirety of the schedule and other sources like that. So if you are using the app and you're like, dang, like I'm having too many login issues for me to keep going through all of this, definitely utilize the schedule by day. You don't have to be logged in order to access that. So let's say you're kind of like touching around to see like what are some other things and other features of the web version, and now you're not at the schedule anymore, and you're kind of freaking out, thinking like, what the heck is going on? So you're going to click events, and then you're going to so you're going to click events and then you're going to click Summer Conference 2026 and it'll default you to general, but no worries, you can click schedule and now you're back at the schedule. Um, and let me see. Oh, yes, while we are here, let me show you another way to get to the schedule, what we call the prelim schedule, which was previously known as the schedule overview. So same thing as before, you're going to go to our web page and then you're going to go to events, summer conference, but this time you're going to click prelim schedule, which is the second one down from schedule by day. Click that and it should be updated with all the session names and the times. The only difference is that this is more of an overview of the schedule rather than the detailed version. It will only have the time as well as the session names. It won't have who's speaking, where the session is located, things of that nature. So this is more of what I would like to call the printable version of the schedule. Just kind of show you generally what's going on at the conference. But if you want a more detailed versions such as like, where a session's located, who's speaking there, I would know the speaker's contact information. You would have to go to the schedule by day or the mobile app. And I believe that covers that. Let me go back to there we go. So yeah, some takeaways from that. No login is necessary. The loading time was quite quicker than it usually is, but patience is key. Just remember that there may be a slight delay in the display and the functions of the schedule, all in general. And to access that again, you'll go to our webpage, events, summer conference, and we have the schedule by day, but we also have the prelim schedule, which is a more of an overview of this conference events. And
So, Dee, let me jump in. So there are two things. I assume that some of you are here because you're having issues getting in, and I see some of the things in the Q&A that I will address. And then for some of you, you were just trying to get tips and tricks on how to use it. Let me just say that this is a very basic app. So once you're in, navigating it is pretty simple. Like it's really there's not a lot of there. It's pretty much the schedule and the social feed. I think a lot of the issues are trying to log in, and we've kind of talked about, why you run into those issues, what we have found with our current system, and we are looking to move systems, but with the current system, once it has bad information in, it's really difficult to get the bad information out. It likes to hold on to it. So clearing your cache can help and reloading can help. But we do have some instances, D. Um, it does have some instances where people are saying, for example, that there is no forgot password option. So for some people, apparently that's not a thing. We also, Linda has said she deleted it and she reloaded it. She entered her email address, received a pass key, and then it gave her an error code saying that a username is required to sign in, but it doesn't give her a place to put a username in. The challenge with some of these things is these are technical things that we don't, we're unable to handle because it's the vendor thing. So these are the kind of things, D, that we'll just have to send on to Mobile Up.
correct.
Unless you have an answer for that, but that's a new one for me. A pass
Yeah,
key, and
no.
then if it doesn't give you a place to sign in, I'm not really sure what you do there. And then Melanie has asked because she had, talked to you and Steve before. She just asked, had she has her information been escalated yet for those who have been trying to talk to us the last couple of days about it.
I have been in talks with the vendor specifically about the issues. For those that reach out to me directly, I have escalated it, but I it's kind of hard to do that when generally speaking, people are having sporadic issues I'm not too sure about. I will say that for some reason the app tends to be updated or has updates right around the time of our conferences. So some of these issues that you all are encountering is the first time I'm hearing of them because the app happens to update as conference is about to happen. So I can definitely get in contact with our vendors concerning some of those things like the username entry and like also the passcode information. I'm not too privy on those things. And to be transparent, I don't have a solution for how to get that done outside of just escalating these issues that y'all have reported to the mobile vendor. But Melanie, I'll definitely get in contact with the my connect to the vendor and see what we can do to get you prepared for the summer conference.
And one of the things Sharon is also texting me on the side, and she's saying maybe the problem with Linda is she's not in our database at all. So maybe that's why you're not seeing the username. But she can try to add your username to see if that helps. It's weird though that you're not even seeing a place to put in a username. So that is, I mean, that's a whole thing in and of itself. But I mean, obviously, we are logging these issues in real time. There was someone who said that they wished that they had asked us to log in first. Again, it's a very basic app. So, once you know how to get to the event section and once you're logged in, play with it. Don't be afraid of it. You can't break it. There's nothing, there's nothing you can do um to harm yourself or the app. So my biggest concern are that you can't get in because once you get in and you click that event section, it's really just the schedule, and then sometimes speakers will load their materials there, and it's the social feed. So while yes, we expected most people to come here to either already have downloaded the app and tried to navigate it, and we're just looking for assistance. So we thought most people would have tried to log in and didn't. And I know a lot of people are here because they're having those issues, and that's what we're trying to log. Um, the question that I pushed to the end is, can we register for the academy? If you mean registering for the academy itself, you can do that on site. Elizabeth Henson will have a table there. Linda is saying she registered two people under her and she thinks that's the problem. I think it might be two as well. The unique email and having one person, kind of have one email does tend to, it, it shouldn't muddy the waters as much as it does, but unfortunately it does seem to with this particular app um, platform. And then Wanda had said that she registered under the town email and then entered their unique emails. And so my answer was, if you made their unique email the primary email, they should not have an issue. But if you made the town email everybody's primary, and that secondary email was their unique email, yes, you're going to have an issue because the system goes off of the primary email that the person was registered um, using. So yes, they may run into some challenges there. I will say this. Um, if you are not interested in using the social feed, and we want you to be, because putting the that's how you connect with people there, that's how you can put photos and share like knowledge bits of the sessions that you're going to. But if you are not looking to use the social feed, going to the laptop version is literally the same thing. And that's why D shows you both of them. So you can go on your phone and go to the MML website and go to the schedule by day. And it's kind of six in one hand, half a dozen in the other, that you're kind of using the app that way, but you can't get to the social feed part. Like that's what the web version won't allow you. So that is the trick, right? The trick is, rather than frustrate yourselves because you can't see the schedule, you can go to the web version on your phone and still keep up with the schedule. Still, you can still use I only want to see Bay Stage, I only want to see Expo Stage, or I only want to see Academy. You can still do that. So if worse comes to worse for anybody, that's what I recommend that you do. Meanwhile, we have logged the names of the people who are saying here, like, hey, it's still not letting me do it. D will escalate those to mobile up and we will see what we can do. But I'm just being very honest that when we hit the ground running tomorrow, it's going to be a challenge for us to round back to this. So please, please, please use the desktop version on your phone. But we will definitely try to get some answers here. Um, I think that's it as far as questions. Thank you for using. I see the only way we can get people to use the Q&A is that the chat doesn't work because most people would have put these in the chat. So and the question was asked, will there be printed schedules in case the app doesn't work? No, we don't print schedules anymore. We have been reducing our carbon footprint for many years now. Again, the way to do it is that's why we have a desktop version. Like that's intentional. We do the desktop version because sometimes not just app issues, but we have found like when we have our leadership conference in the fall, the Wi-Fi tends to be less reliable because it's at a hotel location, and I think it's just a lot of people on the Wi-Fi. And most people can only access it through the desktop version, no matter how hard they try. So that's the cheat code, is the desktop version on our website.
Yes. And as a reminder, you don't have to be signed in for the desktop version. So that's another freebie for you all. If you are having login issues, please just divert all that frustration over to the schedule by day. Because for sure, you don't have to log in. You can still customize your schedule and everything without being logged in using the desktop version of the app. And it is accessible still through your mobile device. So it's called the desktop version because it is through web, but you can still access it through your phone as well. In the event that your mobile app is just not working for you.
I do not see any more questions. I will give we try to make these 45 minutes. And so we have 4 more minutes. So we are open for a couple more questions if you have them. I do hope that we see everyone in a couple of days down at the summer conference. Just a reminder that Sunday is a full day. I mean, it doesn't start until like 12 o'clock, but it's still a full day for those couple of hours. And we're doing our big kickoff reception. So I hope everybody does plan to attend the first day unless they are only signed up for Municipal Tuesday. Thanks, Linda. See you soon. Um, but if there are no other questions, we are going to give you your time back. We appreciate you all coming. And again, this is recorded, so we will provide anyone who is registered for this will get a copy of this. So if you really love me and Dee, you want to see our faces and hear us talk all over again, well, you're ready to get a little gift.